Alrighty, guys, welcome back to another episode of What the X. This is WTX episode 56, believe it or not. 4 episodes left till 60. Super thanks to everybody that watched the last video on the Cracker Barrel situation. A lot of controversy. Seems that it somewhat has resolved itself. And to start the episode off, I figure why not start off with what we were talking about last. And this is a tweet from Cracker Barrel. And Cracker Barrel had this to say, guys. We thank our guest for sharing your voices and love for Cracker Barrel. We said we would listen, and we have. Our new logo is going away, and our old timer will remain. At Cracker Barrel, it's always been and always will be about serving up delicious food, warm welcomes, and the kind of country hospitality that feels like family. As a proud American institution, our 70,000 hardworking employees look forward to welcoming you to our table soon. So, crazy enough, it seems that the backlash has worked. We have ourselves another Sonic situation where the amount of backlash from the fans has caused Cracker Barrel to backstep, to take back what they said, and they have put the old cracker back in Cracker Barrel. And Governor Newsom, who's been going on a bit of a tear recently, has been copying Trump's rhetoric on X, has been trying to just kind of have that same troll mentality, that same troll vibe for the Democrats. I guess you could say how well that's working. That's up to the viewer, to you guys, to decide how you think of Governor Newsom's effectiveness with his troll antics on X to kind of match Trump's energy. And this is what Governor Newsom press office, so they're basically his office that speaks for him. Wow. Even Fox News is crediting the greatest governor in the world. I, Gavin Newsom, for making Cracker Barrel great again. Thank you. And then it's GCN, which I guess is for Gavin something network, like CNN maybe. And then he did repost this too. With Fox News, good old Fox News. So Governor Newsom coming in on Fox News. Bipartisan backlash. The Democratic Party and California Governor Gavin Newsom's press office have joined the backlash against Cracker Barrel after it released its new text-only logo. The new one looks like cheap Velveeta cheese from Walmart. Fix it ASAP. Woke is dead. Newsom's press office wrote, mocking President Trump's caps-heavy writing style. We think the Cracker Barrel rebrand sucks too, the Democratic Party wrote. And I was like, the Democratic Party has their own X handle? And guys, believe it or not, Democrats at the Democrats, they have 2.4 million followers, and they're following 86 people. And then it's just a whole bunch of those left-leaning influencers and engagement people that are listed on there. And they got the donkey on there too. Interesting times we're living in, guys. Cracker Barrel, who knew it would be such a political shitstorm like it's become. But yeah, that was just a kind of crazy to just see how that goes. I think it's a great decision to bring the old stuff back. I hate changing things that don't need to be changed. I don't think they needed to take Aunt Jemima off the Aunt Jemima syrup. I don't think they needed to take Uncle Ben off of the Uncle Ben's box. I know there's been Native American groups that have been out against, like, changing, like, football mascot names and things like that. Just leave stuff alone that people respect. I think we don't want to repeat history, but we don't want to forget it either. That's how you repeat it. You know what I'm saying? And we're just going to move forward because I wanted to get that Cracker Barrel part out first, guys. Just thought it would be a good way to come into this episode of What the X. The next tweet here is from Nick Sortor and says, breaking, President Trump just signed an executive order directing the Department of Justice to pursue 1 year in prison for those who burn American flags in the street. You get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing. 1 year in jail if you burn a flag. What it does is incite to riots. So essentially, there's a big argument right now with Trump signing that executive order, making it punishable to burn the American flag. A lot of people are like, yeah, I don't agree with it, but you have to respect First Amendment rights, which, I feel like I fall more into that camp. I don't want to be punishing people for being able to give an opinion, no matter how much I may disagree with that opinion. I personally don't like the idea of burning the American flag, and some people are arguing that, and I don't know because I didn't really study these cases, that these conservative more people are talking about, like saying that, like, oh, you can get in trouble for burning the pride flag or a Black Lives Matter flag, then you should be able to get in trouble for burning the American flag. So they're saying that if they're already gonna ignore First Amendment rights in other instances to do the same in this case too and make it punishable. Again, I don't know. I don't think there's really been any credible sources that have shown people going and getting locked up for a year just for burning the Black Lives Matter flag or the Pride flag. Not that anyone should be doing that either. I'm not out here advocating to burn flags just to be rebellious. But I do think that it is an important right of ours, the First Amendment, to be able to at least express ourselves, because the differences that we have also are what makes us so unique, I guess you could say, right? So as much as I personally don't really, smallest violin for the people getting in trouble for burning flags, American flags, to be specific, smallest violin here for you. But I do think it should be your right to be able to burn it, although I'm not going to be going out of my way to defend you. But we're going to continue because Trump's just pissing everybody off, just like he always does, it seems. Governor JB Pritzker, governor of Illinois, Governor JB Pritzker, we're going to get into this guy and his family. Governor JB Pritzker had this to say: to Donald Trump and his administration, if you hurt my people, nothing will stop me, not time or political circumstance, from making sure you face justice under one constitutional rule of law. And what Governor Pritzker is talking about, what he's referring to, is Trump's action of deploying the National Guard to Chicago. I've been looking up stats, and it seems that Chicago has been kind of making a turnaround with their crime rate and everything like that. So I don't think that it's warranted to send out the National Guard. Of course, I'm not on the ground. I'm not there in Chicago seeing firsthand what may be going on. I visited Chicago quite a few times because I grew up just across the other side, in St. Louis. So a 4-hour drive, 5-hour drive to be there a couple times with the homies, see some UFC fights and things like that. Beautiful city, but there definitely is dangerous spots, just like there is in any city. And that all I'm saying is I don't know if necessarily deploying the National Guard was a good move. I think we can try to lower the heat in the room. But Governor JB Pritzker was defiant, and he said what he had to say. And what's funny to me is that he is a Democrat as well, a big name, a big voice in the Democrat Party. He is the governor of Illinois, of course, and which is a very Democrat state. And just so you guys understand the hypocrisy with the Democrat Party that I cannot stand, because they're all about inclusivity, diversity, equity. Where's the DEI in politics? Because you got Governor Newsom, rich white guy. You got Pritzker here, another rich white guy. Before that, you had an old rich white guy who was able to pardon his old rich son who does, snow and has computers that are locked away. So, what's going on? You want to be the party of this, of representation for all, and the most freaking liberal, like, guy out here seems as like a 90-year-old geriatric Bernie Sanders. What's going on with this party? If you guys think you can run on AOC, you're going to get another Harris debacle. It just seems like there's such radical voices over there. There's no common sense in that party that the right, as crazy as they can be sometimes, and as ludicrous as their things can be sometimes, and authoritarian and scary as a lot of people may be pointing out, we wouldn't revert to that stuff if the Democrats just at least had some kind of common sense behind the moves they were making. It's like, guys, they're not even accepting basic science at this point. But I digress. What I wanted to get into was Governor JB Pritzker. Who is Governor JB Pritzker? You know, who are these politicians? I'm taking a Democrat down tonight with my, overview of them to just show everything about them. But I do want to do a Republican next. I want to try to stay bipartisan here because I'm not going to be swayed either way on either of these parties. I just follow my heart and I follow what my brain tells me. And let's just get into Governor JB Pritzker because we had to do a little deep dive, and we'll do a deep dive. And if guys, if you have any engagement, just comment. Let me know which political leader you would like me to talk about. Preferably someone on the right for next episode. But for this episode, we're just going to dive right into our first Democrat, the most reliable and up-to-date figure about his net worth, because I was interested, is approximately $3.7 billion as of mid-2025, according to Forbes and multiple reputable news sources. Earlier estimates placed his wealth slightly lower, between 3.4 and 3.6 billion, reflecting fluctuations over time. In short, JP Pritzker's net worth is estimated to be in the ballpark of $3.7 billion, making him one of the wealthiest politicians in the U.S., and by some measures, the richest governor in office. And you guys could be thinking, oh, well, isn't he? What if he's self-made? What if he earned it? Wouldn't that go with like your conservative right-leaning views and everything like that? Yeah, maybe so. But have you guys ever heard of the Pritzker architecture? Because believe it or not, JB's grandfather, A.N. Pritzker, and his sons created a web of trust funds and shell companies beginning in the 1930s and 40s. They moved wealth in hundreds of trusts, many set up in tax havens like Bahamas and the Cayman Islands. This allowed them to minimize estate taxes so wealth could pass from one generation to the next without the 40% tax hit, defer or avoid income taxes on investment profits, and maintain secrecy. The family was famously private, with many assets hidden behind layers of legal structures. One journalist described it as an elaborate honeycomb of trust that became a blueprint for billionaire dynasties in America. So the guy that's in the party that's talking about taxing billionaires more is the same guy in the family that created the blueprint for billionaires. Teen, that's like, come on, that could that be any more? Just the hypocrisy of that. What I just read to you guys is that JB Pritzker's family benefited directly off of tax evasion. And he's talking about taxing people and especially taxing billionaires when his own billionaire family had been avoiding taxes this whole time. Come on, JB Pritzker. Really? You think we're not going to look into that and see it for what it is? But, if that's how the Democrats, if that's who they want to put as their leader, then their messaging is so off. Their messaging could not be more off. And then him and Governor Newsom are just both cooked. I absolutely cooked. Governor Newsom has been embarrassing himself this whole time, posting these cringe-ass tweets. And yes, I know, Trump posts cringe tweets too, but he wasn't posting cringe tweets out of reaction to someone else doing the same. He did it on his own. He didn't have someone else show him the blueprint. But that's Governor Newsom for you. He's just going to copy the homework and say it's his. But, the messaging's bad. They need to move away from the cringe trolling method. If you guys want to be the ones, I'm talking to Governor Newsom and JB Pritzker. If you guys want to be the guys that are going to stand on principles and supposed to be the principled party, then do us all a favor and stand on your principles, because they keep just now California has to redistrict because Texas redistricted, and they're talking about how that's a slap to democracy, so they have to slap democracy back. And it's like, maybe you should be the bigger people, because the only reason you're so unfavorable is because you are never the bigger people, and you're just victim blaming. It's just terrible. And I think people see it. People aren't as stupid as the Democrats would like them to believe, and soon enough people will not be stupid enough to fall for the Republican BS too, because both parties, come on, let's be real, they're married to each other. Like I always say, I've been saying it more and more, free Snowden. But that's the end of this episode. Thanks so much for watching, guys. This has been another episode of What the X? If you like that clip, feel free to click on this clip or even this clip. And then, hey, don't forget about that clip over here. Thanks, guys.